dei documentari in cui appare lei e il presidente Stato, come Reagan, come Mao Zedong, come moltissima gente. Come lei pensa che in pochissimo tempo questa gente abbia cambiato opinione nei riguardi suoi e di suo marito?
Well, first of all, of course, it is the media that had quite changed this in almost 20 years. Suddenly Marcos, in a very even short time, was completely the reverse, because we never heard these things being said to us. Not never, but this was not the predominant theme that corruption, criminal acts, and all of these things, racketeering. Suddenly, it just evolved. And this is coming from, first of all, the media that has really very little time to just see the black and white, the yin and the yang, and not the rainbow that every human being tries to make out of his and her life and the world that they live in. And so with that perception also, and the politicians and leaders of the world has also the reality of a specific time frame of their leadership, have to rely on this information and of course ending what is fashionable. But we know what is not fashionable is not really always what is classic. And the fashion at this point in time is a very materialistic world. How we can get justice? Not because the Americans are unjust or the United States is an unjust system. It is only because we are premising from a different truth. Like it is true at one given moment, like now, let us say, it is 12 o'clock p.m. in the United States of America. And it is 12 o'clock a.m. in the Republic of the Philippines. And this is the truth at that very single moment and second. It is 12 a.m. in the Philippines and 12 p.m. in the United States. And that is the truth. Now, how can I tell the truth when you know it is black, you know it is dark, you know it is night, and I say, yes, it is white, and yes, it is day, and yes, this is light. You will not believe me because you see it from a different light. You see it from a different country, a different culture, different institutions, different laws, different procedure, different system, but worse, different culture, different climate, different place. Completely different culturally. We don't even have the jury system. They pick at random members of the jury who did not have to do, who were not authorized, and who were not empowered to rule a country that would live with the rest of the family of nations. When you have juries who have maybe even doctors, lawyers, PhDs, and all of that, or truck drivers, or porters, or waiters, and all of that, members of the jury, how can they judge? a president for 20 years of a third world country of a different culture. And even if we put all the former presidents and the incumbent president as member of the jury to Judge Marcos, it's a different thing altogether to rule a big nation and a small nation, to rule a very rich country and a poor developing country, to rule, in short, a country of different culture is different. And so you cannot even judge the president, really judge truthfully and honestly the president before you. And how much more to judge someone who has never been your peer or one of your race. So the matter of jurisdiction, a matter of neutrality, question of we are an independent country from no less from the United States of America. We were given an independence in 1946. This is the reason why the Filipino people then, during World War II, we had 17 million people. 1 million died in that war, double that of the death that occurred for the United States Armed Forces and camp during the time. And we were a small population. But we fought valiantly, and our men valiantly, and Marcos was in the forefront of that because he was the most decorated soldier at World War II.
La sua situazione attuale qui alle Filippine in questi giorni e qual è il programma, il futuro, cosa si aspetta dalla giustizia americana e come è trattata dal paese nel quale lei vive attualmente?
Well, what I'm waiting for is the truth to prevail. Justice to prevail, which is rightfully ours, both divine and human. And as a believer, I know the truth will prevail because God is on the side of the truth. And when Ferdinand was very, very sick, he used to say to me, and he was worried for me, I was quite apprehensive about the whole situation. He would always tell me, he said, the truth will set us free. Don't worry, he said. All our lives we committed ourselves to the right, and God is on the side of the right, and the truth and the right will vindicate us. And so this is the strength and the peace within that has carried me to this day. Because really, when the president passed away, I really thought that when he went away, I would just collapse. He was my life, he was my world, he was my great love. And when he passed away, and before this happened, the 10 months of vigil by his side in the intensive care in the hospital, I was always afraid of the very moment he would pass away, when the moment of truth would come before that he would pass away. And funny, when the moment came, it was a moment of glorious exaltation in great thanksgiving to the Lord Almighty for having blessed me for 35 years with a great human being, for that privilege. So I said, Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you. In fact, it was only the third day, when every day I would wake up, he was not there. He was not even there sick. So that was the only time I started to cry. But even then, somehow if the man had been a beautiful human being, a good person, a righteous man, every given truth that surfaces within the day, every beautiful thing that occurs, every given moment of beauty and love that arises, then you know he is alive, he is not dead. The great legacy of righteousness, the great legacy of love, enlightenment, justice, humanity, all of this, Ferdinand is again alive. And so, there being God all the time, there will always be justice, there will always be good, there will always be nice people and friends and all of that, then it will always be there. Of course, once in a while, you are human, you are physical, you are matter. And so, I go to the Valley of the Temples to see where he is in temporary rest, before hopefully God will bless us with a miracle that he will be brought home. I know that if mankind will not give him justice, the Lord will perform a miracle that will bring him home. And in the event that Ferdinand is brought home and put to rest in his beloved motherland, where he will be in great embrace in his beautiful country, the Philippines, where even in death he shall embrace a country between the Pacific Ocean and the China Sea. And when I know that his remains will be in eternal rest, physically, materially within his country, in the midst of the world, then I, with the great legacy of freedom, justice, and democracy now, try to perpetuate this.